give it time. I know that I'm not easy. This cold heart of mine, she really took a beating before you. You stuck through blizzards, winter nights with you. Now I'm blooming just.
So now let us move to the topic number 3, that is the fertility indicators. What do we mean by fertility indicators? So beta, in this topic, in this video session, we are going to talk about 4 basic fertility indicators. That is, what is general fertility rate, GFR, what is total fertility rate, that is TFR, what is GFR. We will also talk about what is gross reproduction rate, that is GRR, and net reproduction rate, that is NRR. So if you see from my eyes, I don't see these 4 indicators. I see only 2 indicators, that what is a fertility rate or what is a reproduction rate. So just imagine that, let us say that there is 2 areas. Let us say that you want to build a medical college. You are the Prime Minister, Home Minister, Health Minister, whatever minister, and you want to build a medical college. In which areas? Either you choose an area which is growing very nicely and has a lot of potential to grow, or you put a medical college in an area which has less services and less potential to grow. So which area would you think? Of course, your decision is going to change a lot of lives and is going to affect a lot of population. But generally speaking, technically speaking, to take these decisions, you should be knowing that which population has the potential to grow after 20-30 years, right? So what comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to your mind is that current, what is the live births in the area, and what is the WRA females or the women in reproductive age group. Please try to understand. We are going to decide that district A is going to grow better after 20-30 years, or the district B. So what could be the determinants? What could be the variables? The first variable that comes to our mind is that what is the live births currently. Next variable that comes to our mind is what is the WRA. WRA stands for the women of reproductive age group. So this is the basic things for us to know. So what you can do is you can divide in your copies, make a square like this. We are going to talk about the GFR, general fertility rate, about the TFR, total fertility rate. We will also talk about the gross reproduction rate or the net reproduction rate. So having looked at this image over here, understanding this point over here that there are district A and district B. So basically you want to talk about the live births and the WRA female. This concept, what is a WRA female, by the way? I think we have discussed this in the MCH chapter as well. What do you mean by WRA? WRA stands for women of reproductive age group. What is the WRA age group? What is the women of reproductive age group? It is 15 till 49 years. Generally, in the government of India, we are taking 15 to 49. Of course, in your books, there could be option like 15 to 45 years also. But mind you, if you get single best answer to mark is Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, we take into account 15 to 49 years. So, bacha, this understanding that the total number of live births in the area divided by the females in WRA multiplied by 1000. This is what is called as a general fertility rate. This is what is a general fertility rate. Now let us say that in the area there were, for example, 400 live births, and there were, let us say, take an example that 16,000 WRA females were there. In the district B, let us say there were 900 live births with a much higher, maybe 30,000 females are there. So generally speaking, which area is going to have a general high fertility rate or a high general fertility rate? Common sense, the area which is going to have more live births and the more number of WRA female, that is going to take the center stage. That is what is going to have the higher general fertility rate. Now let us take an example that maybe unknowingly somehow you got the GFR as same in both the populations. In district A, the 400 live births were there and there were 19,000 WRA females. And in district B also somehow 400 live births happened and the WRA females was again 19,000. Now that the GFR is same, do you think that both the districts will have same population or they might grow at the same rate? Answer is they may be, may not be. What if, technically speaking, you should see that actually how many WRA females are in each age group. Taking into account 15 to 25, 25, 35, 35 to 49 years, you take this age group into account and then you should see that how many females are there. Let us say that in the areas I found out that maybe in district B, there were 12,000 females in this younger age group. Then there were 5,000 female. Then there were only 2,000 female in the most adult age group. Whereas in the district A, there were 2,000 in the younger age group, whereas 12,000 in the bigger age group. So, which district do you think is going to grow better after 20 years? Common sense, I think most of you will be answering that the younger age group population, because it is more in district B, so district B should be growing better. So, that means very simple funda. That means that GFR is not a very good indicator. Technically, you should do what? You should improvise your formula. You should improvise your formula. So how will you improvise your formula? You should actually see the total number of live births divided by the females in WRA with the age specific fertility rates. Please mind it. With the age specific fertility rate. What do you mean by age specific fertility rate? That is, you should see that in every age group, how many females are there and what is the live births which is coming out. That is what we had seen, right? So you should see the age specific fertility rate. That is a much better indicator than the general fertility rate. So what is that indicator called as? That indicator is called as a total fertility rate. What is total fertility rate? It is nothing but GFR, general fertility rate, with the age specific fertility rates. Now let us say take a scenario that again you had the total number of live births were 400 coming out of 19,000 females, and let us say in district A also there were 400 children who were there from 19,000 WRA females, and somehow I don't know how it happened, but let us say that the number of females in the young age group was same in both the districts. The middle age group was same and the elderly was same, and they all gave to same number of children. Just hypothetical example. So now in this example that you see, both the GFR and TFR both are same. The GFR is same. The TFR is also same because why? The age specific fertility rates are same. What do you think now? Do you think that the districts will grow better or somebody will be more or less, or do you think it will be the same? Answer is they may grow same, but they may not be same. Why? What makes you think they may not be the same? Because of a simple understanding, bache, that out of these 200 children, let us say in district let us say in district B, there were 100 boys were born and there were 100 girls. Just take an example. And in district A, I don't know how it happened, out of 200, we had only 86 girls and remaining were 114 were boys. Just imagine like this. So technically speaking, which district will grow better after 20, 30 years? Of course, the district which has more number of females is going to grow better. So B will grow better. That means that taking into a consideration this formula, that the total fertility rate and the age specific fertility rate is also not enough. There could be some improvisation we can do. So what you want to say, which is a better indicator? The better indicator would have been, if I would actually have seen, you should see the total number of daughters which are born divided by the females in WRA with the age specific fertility rates. With the age specific fertility rates, ASFR, it stands for age specific fertility rates. So you should account for the age specific fertility rate, that's fine, but you should also see the total number of daughters rather than the live births. Right? So what's the difference between a TFR and a GRR? GRR talks about the daughters and TFR will talk about the live birth, otherwise the formula is same. So now going back to this formula, Let us say that both in district A and district B, just by chance, I don't know how it happened, but let us assume that in district A also, let us take an example that 100 girls were born and 100 boys were born. So now in this example, you can see that the GFR is same. The total fertility rate TFR is also same. You can also see that now the GRR is also same because both the districts are going to have the same number of daughters per WRA female. So which do you think is a better growing population? Same problem. We're still hanging around the same issue. So the final thing that you should be seeing over here is that what if let us say that in this district out of 100 girls, just imagine that maybe we lose maybe 6 girls, and how many will become mothers after some years or after 20, 30 years? So definitely 94 of the females will actually become mothers. I don't know how it happened that in district B we lost 20 girls and there were only 80 girls which became mothers later on. So what do you think, which district will grow better after 20, 30 years? Definitely it is the district A, because in district A you have more number of pregnant females or lesser number of deaths. So that means your this indicator is also not good enough. You should improvise your this indicator. You should actually see what? You should actually see the total number of daughters which are born divided by the females in WRA with, very important, with the age specific fertility rates and age specific death rates or the age specific mortality rates. This is what is the final indicator. This is called as the net reproduction rate. Do you get this point? So what's the difference between a GRR and NRR? GRR stands for gross reproduction rate, NRR stands for net reproduction rate. The difference between a gross and a net is in the net you are accounting for the age specific death rates, or in very simple crude language, deaths are accounted only in one indicator, that is NRR, that is net reproduction rate. So did you get this? This is pretty important for your exams. So just a very quick take home summary messages that there is beta, you have studied about the GFR, there is a TFR, total fertility rate, then you have a GRR and NRR. MCQ very directly. I told you I don't see 4 indicators, I see only 2 indicators. Either an indicator could be a fertility or an indicator could be a reproduction. MCQ number 1, what's the difference between a reproduction and a fertility indicator? In the reproduction, you take into account the total number of daughters. In fertility, you take into account the total number of live births. So that means, but the first word of the MCQ, the first word of the MCQ is going to tell you that what will be the answer. For example, you get an MCQ that the total number of children. So that's it. Close your eyes. Answer is total number of children. The question is asking children. So the answer has to be from the fertility rate. If the question starts with that the total number of daughters born. So that's it. Close your eyes. Answer is simple. Answer has to be a reproduction rate. So that means the first word of the MCQ is going to give you the answer actually. Next in line, what's the difference between a GFR and TFR? TFR will take into account what? TFR will take into account the age-specific fertility rates. Next is, what is the difference between a GRR and NRR? The same answer, the difference between GRR and NRR is, in NRR, we are accounting for the age-specific death rates. So that is your first level of MCQ. Question number 2. What are the targets of these? Beta, please note that the target of NRR should be equal to 1. Why do we say that NRR should be 1? NRR means what? NRR is the total number of daughters which a female is going to bear, assuming the fertilities and assuming the death rates. Why do we say that NRR should be equal to 1? See, if there is a husband and a wife, they marry. Just imagine that if they have 2 children, how many will be boys, how many will be girls? There could be boy and boy, there could be girl and girl, there could also be 1 boy, 1 girl. So generally talking about the statistics from the whole country, definitely you're going to land up with a 1 boy and 1 girl, right? So we'll not talk of the boy, let's talk of the girl. When the girl is 20 years of age, what will happen to the mother? The mother will be out of WRA. You remember that? WRA 1549. So if the daughter becomes 20 years of age, the mother is usually out of WRA and the daughter enters into WRA. है ना? Assume that now daughter also gets married. So if the daughter gets married, let's assume that she also has two children. So how many will be boys, how many girls? One boy, one girl. We'll not talk of the boy, we'll talk of the girls. That means this daughter also had one daughter. So now the daughter's daughter, when she is 20 years of age, what will happen to the daughter? The daughter will be out of WRA. And the daughter's daughter is going to enter into WRA. That means, very simple, beta. I think you've got it now, that if every couple starts having at least one daughter, if every couple starts having one daughter, then one daughter is going to replace a mother. That is, what is going to happen to the population? The population will increase, decrease, or remains same. One daughter replaces a mother. So the population is going to remain same. India is in which stage today? We are in late expanding. What is the next stage we are looking at? We are looking to stabilize the population. If you want to stabilize the population, how many daughters should a couple have? Answer is pretty simple. You want one daughter for every couple. So that means if you want one NRR, NRR1, this is called as a replacement level. This is called as a replacement level. So if the NRR you want is 1, how much should be the TFR? How much should be the TFR? What do you think? TFR is what? It is total number of children. So if you want one daughter, how many children should a couple have? The TFR is taken as the target should be 2.1. It should be less than 2.1. The TFR should be less than 2.1. So beta, please note that these are the targets. You want to remember that the NRR, net reproduction rate, what is the target? We want it to be equal to 1. Why 1? Because 1 is what? 1 is the replacement level. Next MCQ, what is the target for TFR? TFR, you know that it should be always less than 2.1. Why do I say 2.1? Because if you were answering 2, that is fine. But why do we say 0.1, 2.1? It must be causing some unrest in your brain. Let me just try to dissolve that out as well. When I asked you that there is a husband and a wife and they are going to have two children, we all mutually accepted and we went forward with this fact that there will be statistically one boy, one girl. But beta, in India, this does not really happen. We do not get one boy, one girl from two children. We get less than one girl and more than one boy from two children. Why? Because of female feticide, right? So you do not get one daughter from two children. You get one daughter from more than two children. How many more? 2.1 children. Try understanding that this 0.1, it is actually an adjustment for gender bias. For gender bias in India, that it's an adjustment 2.1. Why not 2? Because 2.1 children will lead to one girl child in India. So that's what you need to know for now, that NRR equal to 1 and TFR should be less than 2.1. Coming to the CPR, what's the CPR? CPR stands for a couple protection rate. Couple protection rate. What do you mean by couple protection rate? See, in a country like India, if this is the whole country, or this is the village or the town or the city or the district or the state, whatever level you're working at, it is seen that in a country like India, if we contraceptize 60% of the population, if we stop the 60% of population from reproducing, so technically how many people will be starting reproducing? Generally speaking, so it will be the 40% reproducing. It is seen, beta, that for a country like India, if only, listen carefully, it's a bad fact I'm going to say. It is seen that for a country like India, if only 40% of the Indian population will reproduce, they give rise to so many children. 40% if only Indian reproduce, they give rise to so many children, which is equal to 2-child norm of the total population. So that means if only 40% of the Indian reproduce, they will give rise to X number of children, and this X is equal to 2-child norm of the total population. So technically speaking, in your area, how many couples should be protected? In our area, we want that the couple protection rate should always be more than 60%. Why? Because if you achieve 60%, then The total fertility rate or the TFR will be 2.1. If the TFR is 2.1, then the NRR is 1. So, did you get this point? That these are the knowingly, unknowingly, you have actually completed the targets of the National Family Planning Program. So, the family planning program, they want that the NRR should be equal to how much? Say with me, NRR should be equal to 1. 1 means replacement level. To achieve NRR 1, the TFR should be 2.1. Okay. To achieve TFR 2.1, how much should be the couple protection rate? It should be more than 60%. So TFR 2.1, NRR 1, and couple protection rate 60 is what you need to memorize. Coming forward now. If we talk about NRR, a little bit 2-3 more MCQs, please note that NRR is also one of the most sensitive. It is the best indicator to evaluate what? It is the best indicator to evaluate the National Family Planning Program. It is the best indicator to evaluate the National Family Planning Program. Now try understanding what I have written. See, when we are talking of a country level, we can calculate the net reproduction rates. But we cannot calculate the net reproduction rate of village A, town A, things like these. For the implementation of the family planning program at the lowest level, who do you think is going to implement the National Family Planning Program? They will be the ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers. So, for ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers, we cannot make them understand what is TFR, NRR, GRR, all these things. We just tell them that in your areas, you should contraceptize how much? You should contraceptize 60%. Because we know that if they contraceptize 60%, the TFR of my area will be 2.1, and if TFR is 2.1, the country's NRR will be 1. So try understanding that. I want to say that couple protection rate is the most important indicator, which is working as a functional indicator, and please write down it is the operational indicator. Operational indicator is the couple protection rate. Why? Because couple protection rate is one which is working at the lowest level. Next in line is what is TFR and NRR. TFR is the most important. It is the most important indicator. It is also the epidemiological indicator. What do you mean by epidemiological indicator? It is an indicator which is used for planning of the health program, for monitoring of the program, for almost everything. We use epidemiological indicator. It will be used for budget planning. It will be used for manpower planning. It will be used for almost everything. So TFR is a very important. It is the most important indicator. Most important indicator is TFR because we use it almost every day. But the general final impact indicator, NRR, is also called as the final impact indicator because at the end of the day, you want the population to be stabilized, right? So for country level, we will calculate the NRR. At the epidemiological level, for the planning level, for the district level, we will calculate the TFR. And at the lowest level, for operational indicator, we will calculate the couple protection rate. So please note, these are some of the important things that you need to know. In our country, this slide does not, I do not want you to memorize these numbers. So it's not at all required. But I just want to show you that in our country, we do planning of the family planning program based on the total fertility rate, not based on the couple protection rate, not based on the NRR. NRR is a big country level indicator. CPR is a very low operational field level indicator. The planning is based on TFR. TFR stands for total fertility rate. So we have classified our country based on the TFR less than 2.1. 2.2 to less than 3 and more than 3. More than 3 is a problem area. So more than 3 is there in UP, Bihar, Meghalaya, and most of our Indian country, most of the Indian states are less than TFR of 2.1. Please note that we are very happy to share that the latest NFHS 5 number data, it shows that the total fertility rate of our country is 2.0. So that's a very welcoming and a very warm news and a very good news that the total fertility rate of India is 2.0. The couple protection rate of India, is around 66%. So that's again a very welcoming news because couple protection rate should be 60% to have TFR of 2.1. Currently, the couple protection rate has increased, that is up till 66 point some percent, at 66, 67%, and the total fertility rate is 2.0, which is lesser than the 2.1. So that's a very warm and welcome news. So that is what you have learned till now, that what is GFR, TFR, GRR, NRR. Please note that which is the best indicator. We have gone like this. Which is the best indicator? Common sense, the best indicator or the final impact indicator is NRR. Which is the epidemiological indicator? The epidemiological indicator will be total fertility rate. Another MCQ which can be asked is, which of the following indicator is going to give you a complete family size? Please note that in a family, who all are there? It's the children who are there, and then you have the parents. So out of these four indicators, which indicator do you think is going to give you the best number for the total number of children for a couple? The answer is correct, TFR. It is going to give you the total children a female is going to have, assuming the fertility rates, age-specific fertility rates. So therefore, we say TFR is a proxy indicator. It is a proxy indicator for the complete family size. It is a proxy indicator for the complete family size. So lastly, just to summarize the whole game for you, what is GFR, TFR, GRR, and NRR? Please note, what is GFR? It is the total number of, what do you want to say? It's the total number of children. It is the total number of children a female will bear during her reproductive years, that's all, is called as GFR. What is TFR? TFR is again same, it is the total number of children a female will bear during her reproductive years, assuming the age-specific fertility rates, is called as TFR. So please note, what is the main highlight of the game? The game highlight is that when will you mark TFR as your best answer? If the question says total number of children a female will bear during her reproductive years, assuming the age-specific fertility rates. Next is, what is GRR? GRR stands for gross reproduction rate. What is the difference between a total fertility rate and a gross reproduction rate? Please note that GRR, it is the total number of daughters. It is not the total number of children. It is the total number of daughters which a female will bear during her reproductive years, assuming what? Assuming the age-specific fertility rate, that is correct, that is same. So what is the hallmark of a gross reproduction rate? The hallmark is that the question will say that they are talking about the daughters. Next is, what do you mean by NRR? NRR has a slightly absurd kind of definition. I'm going to write it down. You can also write it, copy along with me. NRR, net reproduction rate. It is the total number of daughters which a newborn girl child will bear during her entire life, assuming the age-specific fertility rates and age-specific death rates. Assuming the age-specific fertility and age-specific death rates. So please mind it that what's the hallmark of NRR? NRR is the total number of daughters which a newborn girl child will bear during her entire life. Why do we say that the total number of daughters which a newborn girl child? See, NRR is the only indicator where deaths are accounted. So in a very newborn girl child, what are the chances of this girl to have a baby right now? Common sense, zero chances. What are the chances for this girl to die? There are some chances. So next is that we take every age group and we see what are the deaths, what are the births, what are the deaths chances, and what are the birth chances. And that's how we calculate the NRR. Therefore, we say that NRR is one of the best indicator to evaluate the National Family Planning Program or to find out the impact of the family planning program. So now just to summarize the thing for you, that if the question says that the total number of children born, so answer is pretty simple. There are only two options. Either the answer is a GFR or the answer is TFR. On the other hand, if the question says that the total number of daughters born, So answer is pretty simple. Either the answer is GRR or it is NRR. Next in line, if the question says that the total number of daughters born to a couple or the newborn girl child, assuming the death rates. If the question talks about death rates or the mortality, answer is single, one and one, that is net reproduction rate. So beta, now just to have a very quick rapid review, that if the question says that the total number of children born to a female is what? That's it. Total number of children that a female will bear during her reproductive years. Answer is simple, GFR. If the question says that the total number of daughters which a newborn girl child is going to bear during her entire life, assuming the fertilities and deaths, answer is NRR. If the question says that the total number of daughters born to a couple within the reproductive age group, assuming the age specific fertility rates, what is the answer? Gross reproduction rate. And if finally the question says that the total number of live births or the total number of children a couple is going to bear during her reproductive years, assuming the age specific fertility rate, answer is simple, that is TFR. So, with that, I'd like to thank you for watching this module. In the next section, we are going to talk about the survey techniques.